Good morning and welcome to our second week of Rise and 9.
Yeah, we hope you all had a great weekend. I'm Jackie Kennon.
And I'm Kristin Rogers.
Yeah, well, for lunch today, I did some meal prep this weekend, cooked a whole chicken in the crock pot, and was thinking what to do with it. And I was thinking at the state fair, one of my favorite meals to get is from the beef tent, the baked potato, the taco baked potato.
Yum.
So I did something similar. So it's a baked potato because when it gets cold, I'm like, I need potatoes to stay warm.
Yeah.
So it's a baked potato and then shredded chicken, some salsa, sour cream, and guac.
That sounds great.
So it sounds a little bit weird, but I think it's going to be good.
It kind of sounds just like if you were to go get a bowl somewhere. I think that sounds great. And it's funny that you made a crockpot chicken because I'm making a crockpot chicken tonight, actually. So it's just an easy, I figure, Monday night thing. And then I'll probably take leftovers and make chicken salad. That's usually what I do with leftover chicken. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Always makes the house smell so good, too.
Yeah, and my baked potatoes, Joe told me this, meteorologist Joe Winters. He said to do it in the air fryer if you have one. Love doing that. It takes like half the time, maybe 3/4 of the time, and the skin gets so crunchy. So you just clean them really good. And I did choose some smaller potatoes.
Yeah.
It just happened to be the bag that I got there's some small potatoes, which is perfect.
Yeah.
So just cleaned them really good, pricked them with a fork like 6 times, put some avocado oil on, some salt. 20 minutes one side, flipped on 20 more minutes. They're perfect.
That sounds amazing. I've never tried that in the air fryer before.
Yeah, really easy to do.
Yeah,
I recommend that.
give that a shot. Maybe I'll do that tonight with my chicken.
Yeah.
Just steal all your recipes. Like always, I'm just eating yogurt here at the office, but I don't know what I'll have for lunch today when I get home. I'll have to scour the fridge, find the weekend leftovers.
Exactly. No, I had a good weekend. I had some plans, but with the snow, I'm like, maybe you don't want people to travel. So I ended up staying in and just did all my hobbies. Like I'm working on this blanket and it is taking me so long. I've been working on it for months and it's like this long.
And this is crochet, right?
Crocheting, knitting, I don't know which one it is. I just have one of those plastic looms that you just tie it around. But yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying doing it, but I do wish it was done already.
Yeah, and you also posted on Facebook you baked this weekend as well.
Right, made some monster cookies. Great way to use up that extra Halloween candy. Throwing some M&Ms in there. They taste so good. It's so nice to have the kitchen smell nice.
Oh, totally. Yeah, you got a lot of hobbies in this weekend.
Right, also practice some watercolor painting. It's not great, but I enjoy doing it. And I don't think you have to be good at your hobbies to enjoy them.
Yeah, exactly. You don't. You just have to enjoy them. That's the whole point.
Right.
I, Friday night, went to Manchester, visited my parents. My parents live out in Manchester now. And so my mom and I had a really great night. My dad was gone for the night, so we just kind of had a girls' night. Went out to dinner, and then we actually cleaned my childhood dollhouse. It's been in storage in my parents' basement for decades now, and it wasn't covered, so it's actually in amazing shape, but it was dusty, and I want to pass it on to my daughter for Christmas. She's only 2, so yeah, so we spent the night, just turned on a movie after we got home from dinner, and we're scrubbing that dollhouse, getting it all clean. So yeah, I know I snuck it in the house during nap time when I got home, so she'll be very excited for that. And then the next morning on Saturday, we went and shopped a lot of the local businesses around Manchester, and we had no idea. We noticed it was really busy. Not that it's not normally busy on a Saturday, but it was busier. Didn't really know what was going on. Well, as we're shopping around, we started noticing all the places had these cookies out, and they had these little cookie boxes. It was the cookie walk. So now I want to go every year. This is an annual thing, I believe, is my first time. So you just shop around the local businesses, and you can take homemade cookies and put them in your little box and go around and collect them all. So after shopping with my mom, I came home to the kids with a box full of cookies. So that was great.
Yeah, absolutely. You get to have cookies and enjoy that as well.
Exactly. Yeah, it was awesome. So really great day to get out and about. And then Sunday, had to go get the kids some new winter coats. The cold weather is here. Yeah, and nothing ever fits at these young ages the next year to year. So yeah, we were out coat shopping yesterday.
Right. Well, I made those monster cookies because I'm like, oatmeal means you can have that for breakfast. You can check out the picture I had on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite cookies from that cookie walk?
Oh my gosh, I tried so many good ones. I'm amazed at people like you and these shop owners and their families who can bake well.
They can make some beautiful ones.
Yes, and they actually look pretty. Like, that's the thing. It takes so much patience to bake. And then when they're done and they're cool and you got to frost them and decorate, it's a whole level of patience that I a lot of times don't have. So, I tried some really good ones. This one shop had these cute little ones. They were fall themed, I'm guessing because, Thanksgiving's on the way.
Right.
And so even though it felt like winter, they were fall themed, and they were just beautifully decorated, kind of how you always decorate your sugar cookies. They look perfect. They looked store-bought, but they were homemade.
We need to try to do those again. The thing that I find hardest is that you're after all done, and then you have a mountain of pastry bags, frosting tips, everything to clean, and you have to hand wash them. So that's when it's really helpful to have a buddy who can help you cook and clean up too, and then someone to eat them as well.
Exactly. Yeah, got to be very committed, and it's all worth it when you get to eat them at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, a great weekend, but lots of stories to talk about this Monday morning as well.
Exactly. Yeah, busy. We'll start out with an infant formula recall. This is something that you'll want to know about. It has gotten 13 children sick. It's called a botulism outbreak in 10 states. This includes Minnesota and Illinois, which are pretty close to Iowa.
And usually with these recalls, you find out about more cases as time goes on, but that's what the situation is for right now. This is from the ByHeart brand. It's the whole nutrition infant formula. And so just some background about what infant botulism is. That affects less than 200 babies a year in the US, so not a very common, but is pretty serious. So the symptoms can take weeks to see, and according to an article we read on CNN, those include not eating, not controlling the head, drooping eyelids. Babies can feel floppy and having problems swallowing or breathing, so something parents want to watch out for. Again, that's the ByHeart brand, the whole nutrition infant formula.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard of botulism before, but like you said, it's not super common. So good to hear about those symptoms to look out for, and also that formula brand to look out for as well.
Yeah, I'd heard of it. That's the reason why you can't give infants honey, is because of that risk of botulism.
Yeah, so something to be aware of this morning. More information on our website, kcrg.com.
Yeah, and a development overnight with the government shutdown. We're going to go through and kind of break down what happened. They voted on a compromise of a bill. It does not include the ACA tax credits to keep premiums from rising. That's 8 lawmakers broke with their party to vote, and the ACA tax credits, that was something the Democrats were holding out that they wanted to include in this bill. So there was some party leaders who weren't maybe super happy about this. It does fund the government through January, but this is far from a done deal. This still has to go through other votes in the Senate and then head back to the House. So it could take at least a few days, even if everything were to be voted for.
Right, and we're already in day 41 of the government shutdown, and it's having lots of impacts, as people are seeing with flights and then also with SNAP.
Right, I just checked before it came out here. I checked FlightAware, 1,500 flights already canceled for today. But there's some severe weather in Chicago and other areas, so that could be some of that in play as well.
Yes, absolutely.
That is a lot of flight canceled for whatever reason.
Yeah, something that you'll want to watch if you are traveling over the next couple of days. And again, we'll stay on top of the latest as this vote maybe will be happening. But so far, just another step in the direction to reopen the government.
Right, and that is 42 million Americans are on SNAP, unsure when they'll get those November benefits. So we'll just keep you updated with what happens.
Exactly. And kind of a fun story, but also I'm sure it was brutal for the people out there.
Right.
A very snowy cross-country meet. This was the Junior College Cross Country National Championships in Fort Dodge. They had 2 inches of snow on the ground. We did not see that here in eastern Iowa, but they had to go run, and I saw these pictures over the weekend. Cross-country runners aren't necessarily always bundled up, sometimes you just tough it out. Lots of people just in their little spandex uniforms just cranking out these miles in the snow.
Right, I was seeing pictures all over social media. It looked so cool, and the snow was coming down too.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just done. Like even 1 inch of snow can be really slippery though.
Right.
Like I imagine that maybe changed some of their race technique to not fall down when you're running a race.
Exactly, because cross country, this isn't like you're running on, a paved surface. This is terrain, so they're just running actually on the snow. I don't know about you, Jack. I know we both ran cross country in high school and I ran in college, but I specifically remember a high school meet where it was snowing, actively snowing during the meet. And yes, I did not bundle up or anything. It's just toughed it out. I'm like, I'll just run super fast. But yeah, it can impact you mentally as you're trying to race and there's snow on the ground. You don't want to slip or get injured.
Yeah, and that was more than 1,300 runners from over 200 colleges. And I thought this was interesting. The Iowa Central Community College Director of Athletic Communications, he told KCCI that some of those runners had never even seen snow before, because this is from people from all over the country going to race at nationals.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting too. Imagine, going to another state to race and seeing snow for the first time ever and having to compete in it.
Right.
I always thought it was hard when my college team, we would travel out to Colorado every year and we would have to race in altitude, because that's something that we don't have here in Iowa, and we'd be racing at beautiful scenery at the mountains, but all of us girls that were, running from the Midwest are just breathing super heavy, struggling to keep up, and I can't imagine not seeing snow and then having to run on 2 inches.
Especially in those little shorts they had to wear as runners. I got dressed to go for a run. I haven't run in a long time, but I just felt like it on Sunday.
Yeah.
You just get the itch
bug.
to go do
Yeah.
it. So I put on a tank top and shorts, and my husband's like, "Where are you running?" And I'm like, "Downstairs in the basement in the treadmill." He's like, "Okay, because you did not look warm enough." Not warm enough for me at all.
Exactly. Yeah, I did see some people out running. It would have been on Friday. Well, it was still in the 60s on Friday, but in shorts or sports bras. But yeah, it's all relative, because in Iowa, 60 can feel pretty warm. But if you're from somewhere really warm and you're coming somewhere where it's 60, or especially people coming somewhere where it snowed, I can only imagine how freezing they could have been.
Yeah, and those pictures were very interesting. There was one guy with his, I don't know what school this would have been, but it said snow across the front, kind of ironic.
That is super ironic. Yeah, really fun to look at those pictures and just see what that looked like, because that's pretty rare that you would have that much snow on the ground during a collegiate cross-country meet.
Yeah, but they have a fun story for sure.
Exactly, yeah, and for some, a first time.
Exactly. So TV9's Connor Woodruff also had a really interesting story. We the People, as we go through and highlight Iowa's role in shaping America's history as we head towards the 250th birthday of America next July 4th. This was about the Mother Mosque in Cedar Rapids. That was the first, the first mosque ever in the nation.
Yes. They hadn't had an actual mosque in U.S. soil. So Connor's story, he visited the Mother Mosque and talked about how this was the first purpose-built mosque in the entire country. I was here for a news story. I was there for a news story many years ago and got to see this firsthand. Yeah, kind of neat to see, just knowing the history behind it, and a very small building too.
Right, and it's open to everyone. Even non-Muslims can go and learn more about the religion. It's been open since 1934, getting close to 100 years there.
Yeah, so lots of history there. You can check that out in Connor's story on our website, kcrg.com.
The thing I thought was interesting when I watched this story was there was 2 coffee machines in back. It just looks like, any church that you'd be in, just people having coffee.
Exactly, yeah. And I believe it's like down in their basement where they have a lot of the history posted. So you mentioned going and learning about the religion. You can also learn a lot about the history of that being the first mosque in the country. Take a look at the pictures, and I'm sure they'd be happy to talk with you too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's Monday, so we also have a Working Iowa story.
Exactly, yeah. So for this week's Working Iowa, I went to the Johnson County Sheriff's Office because they are looking for some more reserve deputies. I had actually never done a story with reserve deputies before, so I learned a lot on this story. Essentially, they can act as any other deputy would, full uniform and everything. They've been through the training, but they're volunteering their time, so they're usually not paid. They have some events at times that they'll get paid for, but they're typically picking these shifts up because they want to do it and fully volunteer, which is really amazing. So the 2 guys that I spoke with, one of them works full-time for the University of Iowa campus police department, so he's still in the law enforcement realm. The other was a former military police officer. Didn't want to do law enforcement as his full-time career. He actually works at Hy-Vee full-time, but picks up these shifts on the side. So pretty awesome. A lot of times they're doing those community events like parades or high school football games, so a chance to interact with the community. And like I said, they're looking to add some more people.
Right, those extra things like those football games that are fun to see that needs a little bit extra help from law enforcement.
Exactly, yeah, and they can go out still and do patrols and supplement jail division, all of those sort of things, but a lot of times they're also picking up those shifts for, those fun community-driven events. They mentioned recent trunk or treats and things like that.
But they still have to meet all those requirements and go through the training academy.
Exactly, yeah. And that's what I thought was really interesting. Actually, when I went to go meet them, one of the questions I asked them, you guys are fully dressed, full law enforcement gear. That's not what I expected. I thought when I was meeting volunteers that they'd be in jeans and t-shirts when I showed up to the interview. But yes, they go through all of the same training and they can act just as normal law enforcement would, any other deputy, but they're essentially just volunteering their time. A lot of them on top of full-time jobs that they already work outside of working for the sheriff's office.
Yeah, we know how important volunteers are to our community.
Exactly, yeah. So a really cool story. You can check that out on our website too, kcrg.com. Just click on the tab at the top that says Working Iowa.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. This has been Rise at 9.
Yep, we'll see you tomorrow.